It's absolutely baffling to me that people think if you join a union or if your company is unionized, your job is safe. That's never been the case in history. We've seen over the past 12 months more than 20,000 jobs lost in the West. Almost all of those jobs were union employees. Stellantis has made a deal with unions in Italy to move thousands of jobs to China. And it's firing all those people, I believe, more than 2,500 staff in order to just, manufacture EVs in China instead. Now, that's not actually the deal that Stellantis did. I mean, Stellantis didn't say to the Italian government or to the unions in Italy, which is actually who the deal is with the unions, it didn't say, we're going to rehire people in China to do your jobs, but it's what Stellantis just did. I mean, these guys just basically bought into an EV company in China a week ago. Obviously, they now have thousands of staff in China manufacturing EVs for them in China or manufacturing cars for them in China at lower prices than Italy. And then they went and fired everyone in Italy. I really don't understand. I've made several videos criticizing this massive drive to join unions, to unionize in the United States, but it doesn't protect your job. Have a look at how many people Ford and General Motors have fired and Stellantis have fired within the last 12 months. It seems, in fact, you're more likely to be fired if you unionize. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Well, it is and it isn't, because it sounds like I'm taking pleasure in this. I'm not. I'm just trying to say over and over and over. This union thing, it's just adding extra cost to you as an employee. It's adding extra cost to you as a staff member, and they never protect you. I was never protected when I was an employee working in a union. The union didn't care about stuff that happened to some of our staff, and honestly, I just don't understand the perception that they do. It's all marketing. It's not a good week to be working at Stellantis. It's obviously moving to sell electric cars in America. It has actually fired 400 United States salaried workers and software engineers. In addition to that, it's fired 2,500 staff in Italy. Last Friday, 400 salaried non-union workers in the US were told to go home for a mandatory remote work day. Mandatory remote work day where Stellantis, this is such a shit way to get fired, right? They said, okay, everyone go for a mandatory work day. It's going to be a cruisy day. Anyway, they get home and then Stellantis sends them all a message saying you need to log on to a group video meeting. All these 400 salaried workers, they log on to a group video meeting and they get fired en masse on this big Zoom call. What a wonderful way to be told how appreciated you were as an employee of Stellantis, right? One mechanical engineer told Fox 2 Detroit that it was a mass firing of everybody that was on the call. He added that he believes the rationale for the layoffs was to move jobs to low-cost countries such as China, of course, with Stellantis outsourcing jobs to India, Mexico, Brazil, and China. This apparently affects 2% of employees in their units after rigorous organizational reviews, blah, 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 blah. Stellantis Anyway, Stellantis actually do have 11,800 salaried US employees. Well, they did at the end of last year. But it's only a matter of time before they fire a very large number of those. A lot of their production is going to Mexico, to Brazil, to China. Basically, Stellantis don't want to go bankrupt, and they believe that's probably the only way they can avoid bankruptcy. Today, Stellantis have, of course, added to the pain, firing 2,500 unionized workers in Italy. Now, hopefully they didn't do that via Zoom call, but who knows? They're probably trying to save money, and a big mass Zoom call, it'll save them probably, maybe a few $100,000. Yeah. Considering Stellantis made record profits last year, selling internal combustion vehicles, you'd think that they could have had a little bit more class than that, right? Anyway, the historic home of Italy's Fiat, owned by Stellantis, that is where the majority of these staff have been fired. There's been 300 fired at the Mafori factory, and 744 staff apparently can also take an option of voluntary leave. So Stellantis is trying to get more than the 2,500 to leave. Yeah. In January, Stellantis temporarily laid off 2,250 workers at its Miraflores plant, with more than half of the affected workers handling production of the electric Fiat 500e, which is the first electric car that Stellantis have sold in the United States. Now, Italy's government is in talks with Tesla to build a gigafactory in the country, where Tesla will build electric cars and trucks and sell them in Europe. My friends, I've been saying for years now, if you're not disrupting someone else, you're being disrupted. This is basically exactly what is happening. Thank you for watching.